Lisa had always thought stories about aliens were just made-up nonsense. She was a practical woman who worked at a space research center in the middle of nowhere, Arizona. Her job was simple: check the big telescopes and make sure all the equipment worked properly. Most nights, she was alone in the facility, which was exactly how she liked it. It was a hot Tuesday evening in July when everything changed. Lisa was staying late to fix one of the main computers that had been acting up all week. The desert was quiet except for the usual sounds of crickets and the gentle hum of the air conditioning system. She had done this routine hundreds of times before, so she wasn't expecting anything unusual. Around 10:30 p.m., while she was bent over the computer cables, strange lights appeared outside the window. At first, Lisa thought it might be helicopters from the nearby military base. They often flew training missions at night, and their lights could be seen from miles away. But these lights were different. They moved in perfect silence, floating smoothly across the sky like someone was controlling them with invisible strings. Lisa stepped outside to get a better look. The desert air was still warm, and she could see stars scattered across the clear night sky. The lights were getting closer, and she realized they weren't separate helicopters at all. They were part of one large object that was completely silent as it moved. Her heart started beating faster. This didn't look like any aircraft she had ever seen. The object was smooth and metallic, shaped like a teardrop, and it glowed with a soft blue light that didn't hurt her eyes. It was beautiful in a way that made her feel both scared and amazed at the same time. The craft landed about 50 feet behind the research building, settling down on the sandy ground without making even the slightest sound. Lisa stood frozen, not sure whether to run back inside or stay and watch. Her phone was in her pocket, but her hands were shaking too much to pull it out. For several minutes, nothing happened. The craft just sat there, its gentle glow lighting up the desert rocks and small bushes around it. Lisa was starting to wonder if she should call someone when a door appeared on the side of the craft. It didn't open like a normal door. It just seemed to dissolve, leaving a dark opening. A figure stepped out, and Lisa's breath caught in her throat. It was definitely not human, but it walked on two legs like a person. The being was tall and thin, probably 7 feet high, with arms that seemed longer than they should be. Its skin looked smooth and pale, almost like it was glowing from the inside. The most striking thing about the creature was its eyes. They were much larger than human eyes, taking up a big portion of its face. They seemed to hold a kind of intelligence that was both ancient and kind. When the being looked at Lisa, she felt like it could see right through her, understanding things about her that she didn't even know about herself. What happened next surprised Lisa more than anything else. The alien creature spoke to her in perfect English, with a voice that sounded like wind chimes mixed with a gentle whisper. "Please don't be afraid," it said. "My name is Zara, and I need your help." Lisa's mouth fell open. She had expected many things, but having a conversation with an alien wasn't one of them. She tried to speak, but only managed to make a small squeaking sound. Zara took a step closer, and Lisa noticed that the alien was breathing heavily, like someone who had just run a long distance. Her chest was moving up and down in an irregular pattern, and she seemed to be struggling. "I know this is very strange for you," Zara continued, her voice getting weaker. "But please, I have one important request. Don't do anything behind my back. I'm out of breath and need your help, but I must know everything you're doing." Lisa finally found her voice. "What do you mean? Are you hurt?" Zara nodded slowly. "My ship crashed months ago. I've been trying to fix it, but something is wrong with my breathing system. Your planet's air is different from mine, and it's making me very sick." Lisa looked at the craft behind Zara. It looked perfect to her, but she supposed aliens might have different ideas about what counted as damaged. She also noticed that Zara kept turning her body so that her back was never facing Lisa completely. "Why?" "Can't I go behind you?" Lisa asked, curiosity overcoming her fear. Zara's large eyes seemed to grow even bigger. "My people, we breathe differently than humans. We have special organs on our backs that help us process air. When someone moves behind us without warning, it can cause us pain and make our breathing worse. Right now, with my system already failing, it could be very dangerous." Lisa felt a wave of sympathy for this strange visitor. Despite her fear, she could see that Zara was genuinely suffering. The alien's breathing was becoming more labored with each passing moment, and her glow was getting dimmer. "What do you need?" "Me to do?" Lisa asked, surprising herself with her willingness to help. Zara's expression seemed to brighten slightly. "First, I need you to understand that I'm not here to harm anyone. I'm part of a peaceful mission. But everything went wrong when my ship was damaged. I've been hiding here, trying to fix things, but I can't do it alone." Lisa nodded, though her mind was racing with questions. Why had an alien chosen to land at her research facility? What kind of mission was Zara talking about? Most importantly, what would happen if other people found out about this? "I'll help you," Lisa said, the words coming out before she could. "Stop them. But I need to know more about what's happening." Zara's breathing seemed to ease slightly, as if Lisa's promise had given her some relief. "Thank you. But remember, always let me know where you are. Always warn me before you move around." It's not just about politeness, it's about survival." As they stood there in the desert night with the alien craft glowing softly beside them, Lisa realized that her quiet, ordinary life was about to become anything but ordinary. She was about to become part of something that would change not just her own world, but possibly the world of every human on Earth. The adventure was just beginning, and Lisa had no idea how deep this mystery would go. The next morning, Lisa woke up with a plan that made her stomach twist with nervousness. She had spent most of the night thinking about how to get the materials Zara needed without getting caught. The research facility had 3 storage rooms, full of old equipment, and she was pretty sure nobody had checked them in years. During her lunch break, Lisa walked through the facility like she was doing a routine inspection. She made notes on her clipboard, acting like she was just doing her normal job. But really, she was mapping out where all the security cameras were and figuring out the best times to move equipment without being seen. The hardest part was acting normal around her coworkers. Her supervisor, Mr. Johnson, had worked at the facility for 20 years and noticed everything. When he asked her why she seemed distracted, Lisa told him she was worried about her sick aunt. It wasn't exactly a lie, since Zara was like family to her now. Even though they had only known each other for 2 weeks, that evening, Lisa met Zara at their usual spot behind the facility. The alien woman looked weaker than ever, her breathing. Organs were barely glowing, and she had to rest after every few sentences. "I've been thinking about what you need," Lisa said, pulling out a list she had made. "There are computers in storage that haven't been used in years. Some of them have the rare earth elements you mentioned." Zara's eyes brightened slightly. "It could work, but I need to see them first. Different types of equipment have different concentrations of the materials I need." Lisa had been afraid of this. "I can't bring you inside during the day, too many people around, but maybe at night, ... "I can't travel far," Zara said weakly. "My breathing gets worse when I move too much." They sat in silence for a moment, both thinking about the problem. Finally, Lisa had an idea that scared her but seemed like their only option. "What if I brought some equipment out here for you to examine? I could carry small pieces at first, just to see if they have what you need." Zara nodded slowly. "That might work. But Lisa, you have to be very careful. If your people discover me before I can complete my mission, it could cause problems for both our species." "What do you mean?" Lisa asked, though she was starting to suspect there was more to Zara's story than she had been told. Zara's breathing organs flickered with colors Lisa had never seen before. "I haven't told you everything about my mission. Yes, I was sent to study humanity, but there's more to it than that." Lisa felt her heart rate increase. "What kind of more?" "My people ... We're not just curious about Earth. We need Earth." Zara's voice became very quiet. "Our home planet is dying. A cosmic event damaged our atmosphere 300 years ago, and we've been slowly suffocating ever since. We've been looking for a new home, and Earth is the only planet we've found that could support our life." Lisa's mind raced. "So you're not just here to study us. You're here to see if you can move here." "Not move here exactly," Zara said quickly. "We don't want to take your planet away from you. We were hoping to find a way for both our species to share it. Earth's atmosphere is perfect for us, and we have technology that could help solve many of humanity's problems." Lisa tried to process this information. "How many of your people are there?" About 2 million still alive? Peace. We have ships ready to make the journey, but we won't come unless we know humans will accept us peacefully. That's why my mission was so important. I was supposed to make contact with a small group of humans, learn about your culture, and then return home with a plan for peaceful first contact. But you crashed. Yes, and now my people think I'm dead. If I don't return soon, they'll assume humans are hostile and that contact is impossible. They'll look for another planet, but by the time they find one, it might be too late. Lisa stood up and walked a few steps away, trying to think clearly. This was so much bigger than she had imagined. She wasn't just helping one alien survive. She was potentially helping to save an entire species. But she was also making decisions that could affect all of humanity. What happens if your people do come to Earth, she asked. How do we know they really want to share the planet peacefully? Zara's breathing organs glowed brighter, and Lisa realized this was how her species showed strong emotion. I understand. Your concern. On my world, we have learned that cooperation is the only way to survive. We've never fought wars like humans do. We've always worked together to solve problems. But you've been studying us for 50 years, Lisa said. You know how humans react to strangers, especially ones who are different. Yes, that's exactly why this mission was so important. We needed to find the right humans to make first contact with. People who are open-minded, brave, and willing to work together. People like you. Lisa felt overwhelmed by the responsibility. But I'm just one person. Can't speak for all of humanity. You don't have to, Zara said. But you can help me survive long enough to complete my mission properly. Once I repair my ship, I can contact my people and tell them about you. We can work together to plan the right way to introduce our species to each other. Lisa looked at the alien woman who had become her friend. Despite all the new information, she still felt the same desire to help. Okay, she said, but I want to know everything. No more secrets. Zara nodded. No more secrets. Hey, but first, I need those materials. I can feel my breathing organs getting weaker every day. If we don't act soon, it won't matter what secrets I tell you. That night, Lisa snuck back into the facility after everyone had gone home. She used her access card to get into the storage rooms and carefully selected several old computer components that looked like they might contain the elements Zara needed. Her hands were shaking as she carried them outside, terrified that someone might see her. When she showed the equipment to Zara, the alien woman's breathing organs flickered with excitement. Yes, these have some of what I need. But I'll need much more, and some of the components are very large. Lisa realized their plan was going to be much more complicated than she had thought. They would need to work together over many nights, taking apart equipment and extracting materials, all while making sure nobody discovered what they were doing. As she walked back to her car that night, Lisa wondered if she was making the right choice. She was risking her job, her reputation, and possibly her freedom to help someone from another world. But when she thought about Zara's people slowly dying on their damaged planet, she knew she couldn't turn back now. The mission to save both species had truly begun, and Lisa was right in the middle of it. For 3 weeks, Lisa and Zara worked together every night like a perfectly coordinated team. Lisa had become an expert at sneaking equipment out of the facility's storage rooms, and Zara had taught her how to identify which components contained the rare materials they needed. They developed a system where Lisa would bring items to examine, and Zara would use a small handheld device to scan them for useful elements. The work was slow and careful. Zara's breathing was getting worse every day, but she refused to rest. She would spend hours taking apart computer circuits and extracting tiny amounts of the precious materials. Her breathing organs had dimmed to almost nothing, and sometimes Lisa worried that her friend might not make it through the night. Everything changed on a Thursday evening when Lisa was helping Zara repair part of her ship's communication system. They had finally gathered enough materials to start working on the actual repairs, and Zara seemed more hopeful than she had in weeks. Hand me that blue wire, Zara said, pointing to a component they had removed from an old laboratory computer. As Lisa reached for the wire, she accidentally brushed against a small screen that was part of Zara's ship. The screen lit up immediately, showing what looked like a map with dozens of red dots scattered across it. What's that? Lisa asked, curious about the display. Zara quickly reached over to turn off the screen, but it was too late. Lisa had seen, enough to recognize some of the shapes on the map. They looked like military bases and government facilities that she had seen on news programs. It's nothing important, Zara said, but her breathing organs were flickering in a pattern that Lisa had learned meant she was upset or nervous. Lisa felt a cold feeling in her stomach. Those were military bases on that map, weren't they? Zara was quiet for a long moment. Lisa, I can explain. Explain what? That you've been lying to me? Lisa's voice was getting louder.
Yeah, you said you were just studying human culture, but you've
Been spying on our military. It's not what you think, Zara said desperately. We needed to understand your defense systems, but only to make sure we could approach peacefully. We would never attack your people. Lisa stood up, being careful to stay in front of Zara, but feeling angry and betrayed. How do I know that's true? How do I know you're not just an advanced scout for an invasion? 'Cause you know me, Zara said, her voice becoming weaker. You've spent weeks with me. You've seen how my people communicate, how we value cooperation over conflict. You lied to me, Lisa said, pacing back and forth. What else haven't you told me? Are there more of your people already on Earth? Zara's breathing was becoming more labored as she got upset. No, I'm the only one, and I wasn't lying about needing help. Everything I told you about my mission and my people's situation is true. Lisa wanted to believe her friend, but the discovery of the military surveillance data had shaken her trust completely. If you're really peaceful, why do you need to know about our weapons and bases? Because we're scared, Zara said, her voice barely above a whisper. Hey, we're a dying species asking to share your planet. We needed to understand how your people might react. Your military history shows that humans often respond to strangers with violence. Lisa felt torn between her anger and her sympathy for Zara. Everything the alien woman was saying made sense, but the feeling of being deceived was overwhelming. You should have told me the truth from the beginning, Lisa said. We're supposed to be partners in this. You're right, Zara said, and her breathing organs began flickering rapidly. I should have trusted you completely, but I was afraid you would think we were a threat. Lisa was about to respond when she noticed that Zara's breathing was becoming much worse. The alien woman was gasping for air, and her skin was turning a grayish color that Lisa had never seen before. Zara, are you okay? Lisa asked, her anger immediately replaced by concern. I can't, breathe, Zara gasped, and then she started to collapse. Without thinking, Lisa rushed forward to catch her friend. But in her panic, she forgot about Zara's warning about staying in front of her. Zara fell backward. Lisa moved quickly behind her to keep her from hitting the ground. The reaction was immediate and terrifying. The moment Lisa's hands touched Zara's back, all of the alien woman's breathing organs stopped glowing completely. Zara's body went rigid, and her eyes rolled back in her head. She stopped breathing entirely. No, Lisa whispered, realizing what she had done. Zara, stay with me. She carefully moved back to the front of Zara's body, trying to remember everything she had learned about the alien woman's physiology. Zara's breathing organs were completely dark. Her skin was becoming paler by the second. Lisa tried talking to her, hoping that her voice might help restart whatever biological process had shut down. Zara, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt. You please come back. For several terrifying minutes, nothing happened. Lisa felt completely helpless, watching her friend lie motionless on the desert ground. She considered calling for human medical help, but she knew that no doctor on Earth would know how to treat an alien. Finally, after what felt like forever, one of Zara's breathing organs flickered weakly, then another. Slowly, her chest began to rise and fall again, and her eyes fluttered open. Lisa? She whispered. I'm here, Lisa said, tears streaming down her face. I'm so sorry I forgot about your back. Zara tried to sit up, but she was too weak. It's okay. You were trying to help me. I almost killed you, Lisa said, horrified by what had happened. But you didn't, Zara said softly. And now you understand why trust is so important between our species. What just happened to me? It shows how vulnerable we are. We can't survive without beings we can trust completely. Lisa helped Zara sit up against a rock, making sure to stay in front of her. Is this what would happen to your people if they came to Earth and humans betrayed them? In a way, yes, Zara said. It's not exactly the same, but we would be completely dependent on human cooperation. If your people decided to reject us or hurt us, we would have no way to defend ourselves. Lisa understood now why Zara had been so secretive about some parts of her mission. The alien woman and her people weren't just looking for a new home. Oh, they were looking for a species they could trust with their lives. I still wish you had told me about the military surveillance, Lisa said. But I understand why you were scared. You still help me? Zara asked. Even knowing that I kept secrets from you. Lisa looked at her friend, who was still breathing heavily and looked incredibly fragile. Despite everything, she knew that Zara was fundamentally good. The alien woman had risked her life to come to Earth on a mission of peace, and she deserved a chance to complete it. Yes, Lisa said. But no more secrets. From now on, we tell each other everything. Zara's breathing organs flickered with the pattern Lisa had learned meant gratitude. Everything, she agreed, as they sat together in the desert night, both of them shaken by what had happened. Lisa realized that their partnership had been tested in the most serious way possible. They had survived a complete breakdown of trust and found a way back to each other. If they could do that, maybe there was hope for their two species as well. The next morning, Lisa woke up feeling like she had lived through a nightmare. The memory of seeing Zara collapse and stop breathing was burned into her mind. She had come so close to losing her friend forever, and it was all because she had forgotten something as simple as staying in front of her. When she arrived at work, Lisa found it almost impossible to concentrate. Every time she tried to focus on her regular tasks, she would remember Zara's words about trust and cooperation. The alien woman had been right about humans often responding to strangers with violence, and Lisa wondered if she was the exception, or if there were others like her who would be willing to accept beings from another world. During her lunch break, Lisa did something she had never done before. She started researching what would happen if aliens actually made contact with Earth. She found articles about government protocols, military responses, and scientific procedures. Most of what she read made her stomach turn. The general assumption seemed to be that any alien contact would be hostile. The recommended responses involved weapons and containment. That evening, Lisa hurried to meet Zara, worried about what condition she would find her friend in. When she arrived at their meeting spot, she was relieved to see that Zara was sitting up and alert, though her breathing organs were still much dimmer than usual. "How are you feeling?" Lisa asked, settling into her usual chair. "Better," Zara said, though her voice was still weak. "My breathing organs are slowly recovering from what happened yesterday. But Lisa, we need to talk about something important." Lisa nodded, preparing herself for more difficult revelations. "After what happened yesterday, I realized something," Zara continued. "The trust between us isn't just about friendship. It's literally keeping me alive. My species evolved in a way that makes us physically dependent on the emotional support of beings we trust." "What do you mean?" Lisa asked. Zara's breathing organs flickered as she tried to explain. "When I trust someone completely, my breathing organs synchronize with their emotional state. It helps regulate my breathing and keeps me calm. But when that trust is broken, or when I'm startled by someone I trust, my body goes into a defensive shutdown." Lisa thought about this. "So yesterday, when I moved behind you, it wasn't just that you were scared. Your body literally couldn't handle the surprise from someone you trusted." "Exactly that. And this is why the phrase, 'don't do it behind my back,' is so important to my people. It's not just about politeness or cultural differences. It's about survival." Lisa felt a deep understanding wash over her. "And this is why your people need to know they can trust humans before they come to Earth. If we betray them or act aggressively, it could literally kill them." "Yes," Zara said softly. "We're not a warrior species. We never developed the ability to fight or defend ourselves because we never needed to. Our entire civilization is built on cooperation and trust." Lisa sat quietly for a moment, thinking about the enormous responsibility this placed on humanity. What happens if I help you get home, but other humans aren't ready for contact? "That's the question I've been asking myself," Zara said. "I've learned so much about human nature from you, but I know you're not representative of all humans. Some of your people are kind and accepting like you, but others are fearful and aggressive. So what do we do?" Zara's breathing organs began To glow a little brighter, I think we start small. Instead of planning for contact with all of humanity at once, we plan for contact with people like you. People who are open-minded, curious, and willing to work together. Lisa liked this idea. Like finding the right humans to be ambassadors between our species. Exactly. And I think you could be one of those ambassadors. Lisa, you've already proven that you can accept someone who is completely different from you. You've shown that you can work through problems and rebuild trust even after it's been broken. Lisa felt both honored and terrified by this suggestion. But I'm just one person. I work at a research facility in the middle of nowhere. I'm not a diplomat or a politician. Maybe that's exactly why you're perfect for this job, Zara said. You're not trying to gain power or fame. You're just trying to help a friend survive. Over the next hour, Zara explained her idea more fully. Instead of returning to her home planet with a report about all of humanity, she would focus on the humans she had met who showed potential for peaceful contact. She would recommend starting with a small group of people who could serve as bridges between the two species. We would take years to plan the first official contact, Zara said. We would work together to choose the right people, the right time. And the right approach? No surprises, no fear, just careful cooperation. Lisa found herself getting excited about the possibilities. And we could prepare both sides. I could help your people understand human culture better, and you could help humans understand your people. Yes, but first we need to get me home, Zara said. And my breathing organs are still too weak for me to work on the ship repairs. Lisa had been thinking about this problem all day. What if we don't just focus on repairing your ship? What if we also work on building you a temporary breathing device that could help you survive longer on Earth? Zara's eyes widened with interest. That's an interesting idea. I have the knowledge to build such a device, but I would need access to more advanced human technology. The research facility has some equipment that might work, Lisa said, and I think I know someone who might help us. Lisa explained that Dr. Peterson, the facility's senior researcher, had always been fascinated by the possibility of alien life. He had published several papers about what contact with extraterrestrial intelligence might look like. And he had always emphasized the importance of peaceful communication. He's the kind of person who would be excited about meeting you rather than scared, Lisa said. And he has access to equipment and materials that we couldn't get otherwise. Zara considered this carefully. Bringing another human into our secret is a big risk. But you're right that we need more help. I trust him, Lisa said. And I think he would understand the importance of keeping this secret until we're ready.
They
spent the rest of the evening planning how to approach Dr. Peterson. They decided that Lisa would talk to him first, alone, to gauge his reaction to the idea of alien contact. If he seemed receptive, they would arrange for him to meet Zara as Lisa prepared to leave that night. Zara stopped her with a question that had been on both of their minds. Lisa, are you sure you want to do this? Once we succeed in making contact between our species, your life will never be the same. You'll be part of something much bigger than just helping one alien survive. Lisa looked at her friend, thinking about everything they had been through together. Just a few weeks ago, her biggest worry had been fixing broken equipment at the research facility. Now she was planning to help introduce humanity to an entirely new species, I'm sure she said. This is the most important thing I've ever done, and I can't imagine turning back now. Zara's breathing organs glowed with warmth and gratitude. Then let's change the history of both our worlds. As Lisa drove home that night, she realized that she was no longer just helping an alien friend survive. She was becoming part of the most important moment in human history. The phrase, "Don't do it behind my back," had evolved from a simple request for survival to a foundation for trust between two species. The future was uncertain. But for the first time since this adventure began, Lisa felt truly hopeful. They had found a way to turn a crisis into an opportunity, and she was ready to help build a bridge between Earth and the stars. Over the next 2 weeks, Lisa's life became something she never could have imagined. Every evening after her regular work shift ended, she would meet Zara behind the research facility. The alien woman had set up a small camp near her damaged ship, hidden from view by large desert rocks and old equipment that had been stored outside for years. During their first few meetings, Lisa was nervous and jumpy. Every time she heard a car engine or saw headlights in the distance, She worried that someone else might discover their secret. But as the days passed, she began to feel more comfortable around Zara. The alien woman was patient and kind, always, making sure Lisa felt safe. Zara's condition was getting worse, though. Each night, her breathing seemed more difficult than the night before. Sometimes she would stop talking mid-sentence, gasping for air like someone who had been underwater too long. Her skin, which had glowed softly when they first met, was becoming duller and grayer one evening. Lisa brought a camping chair and a thermos of hot coffee to make their meeting more comfortable. As she sat down, she noticed Zara watching her every movement carefully. "You're always so aware of where I am," Lisa said. "Is it really that serious about staying in front of you?" Zara nodded weakly. "Let me show you something," she said, turning around slowly so Lisa could see her back for the first time. Lisa's eyes widened in amazement. Zara's back was unlike anything she had ever seen. Instead of smooth skin, there were dozens of small, delicate structures that looked like a combination of gills and flower petals. They were arranged in beautiful patterns across her shoulders and down her spine. Some were a soft blue color, others were silver, and a few glowed with a gentle golden light. "These are my breathing organs," Zara explained, turning back around. "My people evolved on a planet where the air is much thinner than Earth's. We developed these special organs to help us process the atmosphere more efficiently. They're very sensitive to movement and vibration." Lisa was fascinated. "They're actually quite beautiful. But why do they react to people moving behind you?" Expression became serious. "On my home planet, we use these organs not just for breathing, but also for communication. The patterns of light and color help us share complex thoughts and emotions with each other. When someone moves behind us unexpectedly, it's like someone suddenly shouting in your ear while you're trying to have a quiet conversation." "That sounds awful," Lisa said, understanding now why Zara had been so specific about her request. "For healthy members of my species, it's just uncomfortable," Zara continued. "But for me, with my organs already damaged from the crash and struggling with your planet's atmosphere, it could cause them to shut down completely. If that happens, I would suffocate." Lisa felt a chill run down her spine. She had been treating Zara's request as a polite cultural difference, not realizing it was literally a matter of life and death. "How long do you think you have?" Zara was quiet for a long moment. "Maybe a few more weeks. The organs are trying to adapt to Earth's oxygen levels, but the process is too slow. My ship's life support system was designed to help with this transition, but it was damaged in the crash." "What can we do?" Lisa asked. "There must be something." Zara's breathing organs flickered with a dim light that Lisa was beginning to recognize as a sign of hope. "There might be a way, but it's complicated. My ship needs specific materials to repair the life support system. Most of them don't exist naturally on Earth, but some of your human technology uses similar compounds." Lisa leaned forward. "What kind of materials?" "Rare Earth elements, mostly. Things like neodymium, europium, and terbium. They're used in your computer screens and LED lights. If I could gather enough of them, I might be able to create a temporary breathing apparatus that would keep me alive while I fix the main system." Lisa's mind started racing. She knew the research facility had plenty of old equipment that might contain these materials. There were dozens of broken computers, old monitors, and discarded scientific instruments in the storage areas. But taking them would be stealing, and she would have to be very careful not to get caught. "I might be able to help with that," she said carefully. "But I need to know more about why you're really here. You said you were on a mission." "Of mission." Zara's breathing became more labored, and Lisa could see she was struggling with whether to tell the truth. Finally, she spoke. "My people sent me here as what you might call a scout. We've been watching Earth for many years, trying to understand human civilization. Watching us." Lisa felt a mixture of fascination and worry. "For how long?" "About 50% of your years? We've been very careful not to interfere or make contact. We just wanted to learn about your species, to understand if you were ready for it, for knowing that you're not alone in the universe." Lisa sat back in her chair, trying to process this information. "So you're like an advanced team, something like that?" "My job was to study human behavior," especially how you react to new situations and unknown challenges. The plan was for me to return home with a report about whether humanity was ready for first contact, but then you crashed. Zara nodded sadly. My ship was hit by one of your satellites. It was an accident, but it damaged my navigation system and life support. I've been stranded here for 3 months, and my people think I'm dead. Lisa realized the enormity of what Zara was telling her. Not only was she helping an alien survive, but she was potentially part of humanity's first real contact with another intelligent species. The weight of this responsibility was overwhelming. What happens if you don't make it back? Lisa asked. Zara's breathing organs dimmed further. My people will assume that Earth is too dangerous for contact. They'll probably wait another 100 years before trying again. By then, both of our species might face very different challenges. Lisa understood now that helping Zara wasn't just about saving one individual. It was about opening a door between two worlds, a door that might not open again for generations if they failed. Okay, she said, standing up and being careful to stay in front of Zara. Let's figure out how to get you home. First, we need to keep you breathing. Tell me exactly what materials you need, and I'll find a way to get them. As they began planning their next steps, Lisa couldn't help but wonder what other secrets Zara might be hiding. The alien woman had been honest about her mission, but Lisa had a feeling there was still more to the story. Whatever the truth was, she was committed. Now to helping her new friend survive, no matter what challenges lay ahead.